4, 3, 2, 1. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of The Process, and the Colony Meadery, the official gluten-free booze made from honey of The Process. On the show today, Josh Richardson and Joel Embiid perhaps searching the city of Philadelphia for a place to work out and play soccer. It might be true. Mike is going to release his life's work at midnight tonight so we can all gaze upon it. Would we care if Ben Simmons didn't shoot if he wasn't a point guard? We have a bunch of mailbag questions to get to and a theory bound to piss Mike off about the Houston Astros. We have 4 new t-shirts available. When I get good at this video thing, I'll actually put the pictures of the t-shirts out. We have the Pride one, which looks awesome, and proceeds for that go to Attic Youth Center. The Pride one is $29.99. We wanted to make sure that we could donate enough, and when you use all those colors, it's more expensive to make. The Vallone's Deli t-shirt, home of the world-famous soft pretzel water. The proceeds for that go to Prevention Point, Philadelphia. And then the 2 shirts based on Sixers Adams food list. The cantaloupe shirt, it can be hard to find, and chicken, it's a filling meal, both $19.99. Go to rightsrickysanchez.com and go to the t-shirt store section of the website. Without any further ado, Amos and the Chef.
Larry, sweetie, the man is here.
Say the name. I say the name. I say the name.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Say the name. Say the name. I say the name. I say the name, mama. Say the name.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez forever.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who is still waiting for his dad to hang up on the Zoom call finally. That is Mike Levin.
Full dad mode from both guys.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. There are a lot of favorite parts of that pod to me. One of my favorite from the Glenn Levin part is when his video was frozen for the second half of the pod and he didn't know. And
He was all excited about revealing that he's wearing a Ricky shirt, as if that's not the only shirt he ever wears.
And we couldn't see it anyway. So we had some pushback online from a certain mom, and my mom's not on Twitter, a certain pushback asking why there were no mothers invited on Mother's Day.
Predictably.
Yeah. So I don't know. Mother's Day next year, are the moms going to be on the podcast?
Yeah, might have to make it a 4-hour podcast if my mom's on. She's going to have a lot to say.
Okay, just a quick mom thing. This is what my mom does. So she will get on the phone and she will talk for 27 straight minutes about like just some shit. You know, like she's only got my father to talk to at home. You know, so I let her go on.
And he's doing most of the talking.
Right.
Be real. He asked him 3.5 questions, and he answered 400 of his own.
Wait, before I get to the mom thing, I always tell the hosts at WIP when they have my dad on, I'm always like, look, when you ask a question, he'll hijack it. You got to let him not hijack the question. And I finally realized what they actually have to deal with. It's near impossible because I can just interrupt him because he's my father. They can't, you know? Mm-hmm. So my mom will call me. She'll talk 27 minutes about how she had to take the dogs to the kennel and how the guy who's supposed to repave the driveway didn't show up. And then at minute 27, she'll go like, okay, let me go. And I'm like, whoa, let you go? You've been talking to me. Like, I didn't even get any of my shit out. Totally.
Just nice to have someone on the other end.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. So normally when Charles Barkley talks about the Sixers, your reaction is, you want to give like what your reaction normally is?
Yeah, I mean, he's bad.
So
almost everyone that talks about basketball on television is bad at it.
So,
and like especially those guys, their whole thing is that they don't watch the games, and my whole thing is that I like the second rounders, and so they've never heard out of any of my favorite players.
right. So
It's insulting to me.
right. So I just want to read this to you, and he said this to NBC Sports Philly's Michael Barkley.
Sharp is the same way. Doesn't fucking appreciate my deep draft
No.
favorites.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He never
appreciate it
did.
at
When we
all.
lived together, I'm still mad.
Not only does he not appreciate it, he mocks it.
Yeah, and that's why he's a friggin' Wizards fan.
Yep, loser.
Friggin' now he has to root for Pasechniks.
Wait a minute, and like really, he couldn't even keep a job doing this. He had to go become a lawyer. You know, I mean, come on, he had to cop out.
Sounds like couldn't hack it.
Yep. But the quote from Charles Barkley to NBC Sports Philly's Michael Barkan, he says, "I'll tell you what, the one Eastern Conference team that scares the hell out of me, I don't want to see Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris," he told Barkan. "I would not want to play the 76ers in the playoffs. Other than Giannis, I want to make sure I don't leave anybody out. The Sixers are going to have the best two players against any team in the Eastern Conference. With the
We've been saying that for a long time.
with,
We've been saying that for a really long time.
with the exception of Giannis, any team they play in the Eastern Conference, they're going to have the two best players on the court in every series except against the Milwaukee Bucks. So I think they've got a legitimate chance. I'd be surprised if they don't do well. Ben has a chance to get healthy. I hope Joel was able to stay in shape. That's going to be a biggie. But if those two guys are healthy, the Sixers have a good chance."
Yeah, I mean,
So now you're on Team
things
Barkley.
that could have been spoken back in September
Mhm.
before any of this happened.
Mhm.
I don't know. I go back and forth
Oh,
all
really?
the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean they do have two of the best players in the East
Mhm.
and a lot of size and theoretically defense. And if Brett allows Shake to be Shake, enough shooting with him and Korkmaz and Tobias if he takes those. So I mean I do think that they're like there's no reason why they wouldn't be aside from almost all evidence that we've had all season. Aside from that little thing.
All the games they've played.
Yeah, if you put them aside, then I feel like we got a great shot. I don't know.
Apple Podcast 5-star review of the week. We're at 2,689. Please leave us a 5-star rating on the Apple Podcast app. It's very easy. Now, this also comes from Hollis Thompson, the same person who had a lot of questions about your comedy writing.
Jeez.
I know. Subject line: Spike weight loss tips. Hey, Spike, just wanted to say your tips about your weight loss journey were a big help to me. You used to talk about that stuff more often in older pods, but still occasionally do. I just wanted you to know that you helped me and probably helped others. Thanks, TTP. I wonder if it's the same Hollis Thompson.
Hey, Hollis.
Yeah.
Maybe spread it around.
So I wanted to ask you your on the challenge. So the Ricky obviously actually has not really been that challenging to do because we don't have to talk about sports. We can do whatever we want, and we hate talking about the Sixers since the break. But WIP a different animal as it's 24 hours a day. So one of the things, because I wanted to get your opinion on this. So one of the things that we've done over the last 2.5 weeks is a thing called the Goat of Broad Street, where people could put in their votes of the top 5 Philly athletes or the top Philly athlete of the last 50 years. And revealing number 2 and number 1 tomorrow, which are some combination of Mike Schmidt and Allen Iverson. I'm curious if off the top of your head, you would know who would be in the conversation for you for top 5. And that last 50 years is 70. So basically who that gets rid of is any of the super old Eagles like Bednarik or whatever. And then it gets rid of Wilt. Wilt is not part of it.
Hal Greer.
So curious who you'd have up top.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just says these all have, their own qualifications and own, rubric.
Yep.
There's no, it's just however, eye of the beholder, whatever you
Yeah,
want.
I like the word greatest because it sort of includes. So the top five for the WIP vote were 5 was Utley, 4 was Dawkins, 3 was Reggie White, and then 2 and 1 in some order. I don't want to give it away. Are Schmidt and Iverson.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have Schmidt up there.
You wouldn't have Schmidt up there.
No, it's hard to like. Did he revolutionize the sport in any way? If you're talking about like greatness,
Wow, but he's like like if he's not the best third baseman ever, he's like one of the 2.
Yeah. All right. I guess I was leaning heavy towards like greatness in terms of like what got me excited about thinking about Iverson
Yes.
for this is the like he is like changed the
Right.
game and changed the culture.
I mean that.
And no one would ever say that Mike Schmidt changed the culture.
Totally.
in
And
any way.
I think that's why it's actually interesting you say that because like if you're just going to go by on the playing field accomplishments, Iverson probably isn't in the top 5. But
For
like
sure.
that other thing
No.
and that connection,
Yeah.
sort of even Dawkins, I think to the same extent
Right.
wouldn't be there either.
Right, for sure.
6. I'm trying to think of the rest of the top 10. 6 was Clark. 6 was Bobby Clark. 7 was Julius Erving. 8 was Steve Carlton. 9 was Foles, and 10 was Bernie Perrant.
Yeah, you got to put somebody in there from 2018.
Yeah, well, you have to. There's
Yeah.
nobody else. I think Jason Peters was 20.
Hmm.
Steve Carlton was pretty awesome, but again, that greatness quotient that you're talking about was not there for him.
Right. I might add Moses to the conversation.
So
there.
Moses was 17. Obviously, the problem with Moses is the short
Wasn't
amount
here
of
that long.
time. He
Yeah.
only played here 4 years.
Yeah.
And then you have Bernard Hopkins and Joe Frazier too. We don't ever talk about.
I would love for the answer to be Embiid in a couple years.
Oh, who do you think of the
Okay.
current last thing, the current players playing in Philadelphia, all sports? Who do you think is the most likely to end up on this list at some point? So that would include, of course,
It could be Harper, and
Right.
just because he'll be here for a long
Mhm.
time. And he also baseball has such a low amount of star power,
and he has it.
and he has he's probably the most, him or Mike Trout, and he's certainly more like personable than Trout,
Mhm.
at least to the masses, because he at least has like the cockiness factor.
More recognizable, I think, in
I think so, too.
in the general city. Yep.
Right. So I think it very well could be Bryce. Obviously Wentz has a good shot. But I would like it to be Embiid.
Yeah. Well, Simmons. Maybe.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
Embiid just has
Yeah.
Embiid, like Simmons is kind of set at who he is. Embiid, if he has like the personality chops and the game and the personality on the court
Mhm.
to be that like Iverson level guy. And it seems like this year, I don't know. This year he was always, it's hard to remember what happened this year, but he was, limiting his fun and then back to having it again. And it's really, we're going through like what's happening with his mood. And when Iverson was on the court, he was always Iverson.
Yes, for sure.
He wasn't Iverson many other places. He wasn't really showing up. But, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to remember what happened this season. It's hard to act as if there's still going to be a season. Do you see Jabari Parker just got diagnosed with the virus?
Oh no. Well, I mean, people like before they're all going to get tested before they go there, and if it's anything like the general population, like
A lot of people are having
5
it.
or 10% of the players will test positive. Jokic tested positive last week.
Jokic, right?
And they
Brogdon earlier
yeah
today.
they said he hasn't had symptoms. Brogdon said he still plans to go and play.
If Malcolm Brogdon friggin' dies
I don't think he's going to die.
before we get the trophy
my
for Rookie of the Year that we rightly deserve,
Oh my god!
what a disappointment that
Oh
would
my
be.
god! Oh my god!
It's a shame.
Wow!
He's ducking us.
Wow! So speaking of mentioning Ben Simmons, your script, you and your writing. How long have you? So your writing partner is Patrick Kang, and I have to admit I'm not I don't understand the writing partner thing. So do most people, when they write, have somebody?
Well, we're having Pat on the podcast next
Right.
Wednesday, so we can get into
Well,
it.
I'm curious, just asking you, not about your
Yeah.
relationship with him, but is this a thing? Like, is having, so do most people have somebody that they write with, like one person? How does that work?
It's a mix. It's in TV. I'd say it's probably more prevalent in TV than it is in, well, certainly novels, but probably a little bit more prevalent in TV than it is in features. The benefit is like, you know, when you're starting out, you're at the lower levels. It's like, hey, there's two of us, and you're paying us the salary of one person. So we split a salary, Pat and I, and then give money to our representation, our manager and lawyer
Right.
at this point. And yeah, so we get to, we bounce ideas off each other, and every script that we do is written by both of us. And the benefit to shows is, if you break into two rooms to like do, one room is doing like an outline for this episode and the other one is doing like a script for this episode, then we can each be in two rooms at the same time. Generally, that's breaking the law of what it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be one entity, but that never is how it works.
Right.
So we've been on shows. The last actually two shows we've been on. We've been the only team, but on How I Met Your Mother there were 3 or 4 teams. And like a bunch of them around. But yeah, so it's easier to come up with ideas, bounce stuff off ideas with each other. I never thought that, and we'll talk about this with Pat, but I never thought that I would be a guy with a team. I'm not initially coming up, I was like, I'm not like a play well with others guy. I'm pretty like micromanagey about when it comes to like my words, and we can talk to Pat about that. I'm sure he'll have some opinions. But it just worked out. He was a good friend. We met on How I Met Your Mother and hit it off and decided to do the thing. So we've been writing together since I think 2016, and our first job together was Trial and Error.
So one of the things you did was you were commissioned by what's LeBron's production company again?
LeBron, it's Spring Hill
Spring
at
Hill.
Warner Brothers. They basically, but we can talk about it again. But the Sean Tribe is Ben Simmons' older half brother, and him and the two of them had the idea of like, hey, something about our life is funny.
We had this
And so
idea
they
to
went-
do a show about us.
Yeah, well, there's a million of those things, and that was part of the pitch, right? With when we went in with Warner Brothers to NBC or all the other places we went to, part of the pitch is like, our exec at Spring Hill was like, we get pitched sports entourage like all the time, like that's every single person in athletics wants to be, hey, my life's cool, and it's like entourage, but like cooler shit, and so a lot of it is just like watch, look at all the cool shit we get to do. But the actually interesting thing about Ben and Sean was, you look at him, Ben is 6'10" and half black, and Sean is 5'11" and white and bald, and you can just look at those like that seems like a network show. Like what a pairing, and the family's super interesting. Sean basically calls Ben's dad his real dad, even though he's not biologically. So he was raised by Ben's dad, Dave Simmons, and they share a mom, who his name I'm forgetting, which is I'm mixing up their character name and their real ones.
So you wrote this show. You guys wrote this show.
And so yeah, so they went to Spring Hill and said, here's the idea. We think there's something there. And Spring Hill was like, maybe. And then we had met with Spring Hill the year before, and they just hit us up and be like, hey, we got this Philly basketball thing. Do you want to hear it? And we were like, yes, absolutely. We had nothing else going on, and Trial and Error was just ending, and so we were like, we don't know what we're doing with our careers. And so they were like, yeah, we got this thing with Ben Simmons, and that was the coolest call we've ever been on. Being like, do you have any interest in like pitching a take basically for it? And so we were like, absolutely. So we got on the phone with Ben and Sean and talked to them a little bit. Ben was on the call for like 5 minutes. He's playing video games, so it was mostly Sean doing the talking. And yeah, so we saw that there was a show in there, and so we like came up with the characters, and which is based on them, but like fictionalized for sure, and the world and what it would be like, and then we pitched it to Warner Brothers. They were in, and then took it out to all the major broadcast networks, and we sold it, and we got paid for it, which is pretty dope.
And the show did not get made, but
No.
you at home or wherever you are have the chance to own the script for a good cause.
The script.
So
The most exciting part of any show
the script.
is the PDFs.
Yes. So you will get a digital copy of the script and original artwork from our very own Abby, and if you want to, by the way, Abby does commission stuff. She did something for Jason Lipschitz that is awesome of him and his wife and their dog, and it's awesome. She's at DIGRUPERT at Dick Rupert, and if you go to our website, the links are there. But so you get the script for $5. You can pre-order it starting midnight, Wednesday night, Thursday. So the 25th, it'll be.
So odds are it's available right now if you're listening.
So just go to rightsrickysanchez.com. It'll be right there on the front page. It's a pre-order, so we'll take pre-orders for a week and then we'll deliver it. $5. But here's the good thing: all of the money goes to every cent. Brian,
listen, Brian, all of it.
Every cent goes to the Coded by Kids to support CBK Academy. And CBK Academy is Coded by Kids is a charity in Philly that basically wants to teach kids from underrepresented classes coding, entrepreneurship, problem solving, all that stuff.
With ideas to hopefully get jobs in tech afterwards, which is what I was always so drawn to for this charity. I actually looked up a bunch because we've always been doing deals with LL where he donates money to charity on our behalf, and so when we switch up the charities from time to time. And so what I was so drawn to by these guys is this is a tangible thing that can make a difference, that is actually helping kids, that they get jobs on their own, and feels like it really makes a difference. And I was excited.
And these are going to be the only jobs that exist in 10 years. So as we'll have a guest on next month.
I'm going to join if people don't think this is if the Hollis Thompson that left the review last time doesn't think the script is funny enough, I will be joining Coded by Kids Academy to learn how to do this shit.
So see what CBK Academy is. So Coded by Kids is an in-class, in a classroom atmosphere, but CBK Academy is an online version of the same thing, which will allow them to teach more people and allow kids who cannot get there for one reason or another to learn from them. So they need money to help build this platform, and that's what this will go to. And it'll also go to the Providence Animal Center Canine College. So what happens with this is they get dogs, and Justina from Providence sent me this one dog named Tiny, and Tiny is this a great dog, but cannot really be trained in the stressful environment that a shelter can be. A lot of dogs are jittery, so they have to send him elsewhere to get trained, and that is expensive. It can be, for Tiny, it'll be $3,000 a month for positive reinforcement training in Philly. But they want these dogs to be able to have homes, because if they don't, if this dog doesn't get this training, what happened is this dog will spend the rest of its life in the shelter, or it'll go home and be brought back, or go home and be brought back, and then maybe even, worse. So that's what this will go to. So it'll go to the CBK Academy and the Providence Animal Center Canine College. And thanks to Touchstone Electric Fireplaces, they are going to double the entire thing. Double it. So zerodeadbirds.com if you want a Touchstone Electric Fireplace. So thank you to everybody. Awesome. The script available for only 1 week, and I think it's a cool thing that you're doing.
And I will say there was a thing in the script. Have you read it yet?
First 4 pages. I'm reading it by the time I.
Wow, he couldn't even get through it.
No, look, man.
What a direct
My
shot.
job is to read it by the time I talk to you and Patrick. That's it about the script.
Just like that. Well, we'll deal with that next week when we talk to Pat. He'll confront you about it. I will say that I don't think I've said this on the podcast before, but there's a storyline in the script that we were very nervous to pitch to Ben and Sean about putting in there. It was a fix basically based on a network note that trying to make the story work that they were asking for. And so we had a solution afraid to ask Ben and Sean about. And they said yes. And so it's in there.
Boy.
And so it'll be very clear
what
that is once you get through the script.
Well, cool. Well, that is available now. So, probably by the time you're hearing it. I'll put it up whenever this podcast goes up. So, yes, it is available now. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast, excuse me, is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. So, baseball is coming back starting July 23rd or 24th. And DraftKings Sportsbook, they didn't tell me to talk about this, but I saw it in the app, now is starting to have futures bets for the baseball season. So the Philadelphia Phillies are plus 2,000 to win the World Series, which is 20-1.
Ooh.
Now, that is 1-2.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, only they are ninth. So the Mets are also plus 2,000. The Nationals are plus 1,800. Cardinals plus 2,000. The favorite is the Dodgers at plus 375. To win the National League, the Phillies are plus 1,100. They're seventh in there. So, and I'm sure they'll have over-unders soon for the 60-game season. I think they're waiting for the actual schedule to get announced. So that'll happen soon. Of course, UFC you can bet on with DraftKings Sportsbook, which presents the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. All the fucking golf that's going on, Korean baseball, and the casino, baby. I was told by a coworker, what's up, Mike, that my system of blackjack betting, where I put away the profits, and it doesn't work, but it works to me, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So,
Split twos.
So there's casino games there as well. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and Casino app right now. And the casino games is right there on the front page. Slots, blackjack, roulette, all that kind of stuff. Legal, safe, right here in PA, super secure. You can, like, when you want to deposit, it's a 10-second procedure. When you want to withdraw, that's also a 10-second procedure. It's not an offshore book. It's right here. So all of that stuff is easy. And new promos every day. We're also working on a pool. This is going to be exciting. I can't wait an over-under pool for the Sixers in Disney. So that's coming probably in the next couple of weeks.
Over-under of
so
what?
There's like 10 different things, like 10 different over-unders for the team. So it's going to be exciting. So you have to
How many do you think? I was actually going to ask you this. Do you think that that there will be any Sixers who decide not to come?
No. Well, Kylo Quinn.
I don't think anybody on like a minimum salary guy would do it. I don't think that they would.
I don't know. I think we would have heard whispers, and I haven't heard any whispers. You know, I understood why. What's his name?
Avery Bradley.
No, not Avery Bradley. The Wizards guy, the white guy.
Oh, Davis
Bertans. Like, he's torn his ACL twice. He's a free agent next year, and they're never going to win. You know, like, I get that. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook and Casino app now. Use promo code RTRS to play up to $200 of casino games risk-free. That's promo code RTRS to play risk-free up to $200 for your first 24 hours of casino play on DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's go to the Lorenzo Brown mailbag, Mike. We do do we want to say, so we've got a few guests, or we've got two guests lined up for the next two pods, right? So we have Patrick next Wednesday. Are we going to say who's on this weekend or no?
No, let's hold it as a surprise, especially after Roten burned us. I don't want to.
And Casper Ware, by the way, burned us as well.
He burned us already?
He never responded. I sent him, like, I guess I shouldn't be here. We do this all the time anyway. Jake's like, I told Jake, I was like, Pavorsky, I was like, Tony Roten was a no-show. I was like, I'm not really that surprised. And Amos said to me, he was like, you knew Roten wasn't showing up. And I was like, I kind of knew. So Jake's like, here's Casper Ware's number. He's definitely down, blah, blah, blah. So I sent Casper Ware not like a 5-line text about who I am, what I want to do, that Jake gave me the number, just no response at all. So, burned by Casper Ware. So, what are you going to do?
Wow.
Lorenzo.
Really, we're having a new shirt with just the names of all the people that have burned us personally on the back.
Up until Roten, nobody had ever been a no-show. Yes,
true?
No one's not shown up. So, the first one comes from Brandon Lee Galton from Bleeding Green Nation.
And formerly
Liberty Ballers.
That's right.
What is your favorite, and a Ricky Diehard, by the way,
I gave that little 6'11" guy a start.
And by the way, the only guy to ever appear on stage at a show and not say one word, and that was BLG at We Were Right Before Christmas.
Sure.
BLG asks, what is your favorite Sixers memory, and what is your favorite Ricky memory?
The moment, as far as like one moment, it was a pick swap.
Really?
It was great. It was the best moment. It was the best moment, and John Gonzalez was at my house for it, and so and took a video of me when it happened, so it's memorialized. Yeah. It was beautiful, and the fact that it was both like from the past, in that it's a thing from Hinkie from years before, and also like looking toward the future, which would ultimately get us Markelle Fultz, which spelled new levels of disaster, and also for us personally, which triggered Retweet Armageddon, which was very fun and ultimately beautiful because we got to totally eat shit for years. I think the pick swap really ties everything together from it. The whole process, really. All of Sixers fandom is crystallized in that moment. So I'll say that.
Mine is actually pre-process. I've mentioned this before. Mine is the Lou Williams 3 to beat the Heat in the playoffs.
Ugh.
It was... that was a great moment.
Yeah, it was great, but it was knowing that it was nothing.
But I didn't care at the moment. I just wanted to see them win.
Yeah.
I do think being there was made it better. And I hated the Heat so much at that moment. I actually did. I was pro LeBron at that time, but to beat that team was awesome. Lou was a solid 4 or 5 feet beyond the 3-point line. Just a great shot. So that's my favorite Sixers memory. Favorite Ricky memory, I'll start. There are a lot. I would say that for me, the first live show with TJ, just the unbridled grossness and sweatiness of it, and the shock of what he ended up saying and doing always makes me smile. And I felt such an awesome sense of accomplishment that we had done it's amazing to see what the live show became 2 years after that, much obviously more produced and more put together. But that one I really, really love. That's definitely one of my favorites.
Man, all the players have been so great, and Brett and Elton.
Yes.
They
were great.
We're all great. Elton threatening to, with his eyes, kick my ass.
Yep.
On the live show was pretty cool. Mike Scott was great. Brett was obviously excellent.
Covington, Dario.
Dario, beautiful. I mean, we've had some fun.
Yeah, we have.
We've had some fun. If the Sixers were half as fun as our live shows, then we'd be a great time. Yeah. Choo-choo, come on.
That's why this whole thing is the best. If we could do this without the basketball, it's just, This comes from Dennis. Hey, Ricky boys. Thanks for providing with some entertainment while I drive for the last few years. I started listening after the Nerlens trade, and I went back and listened from the beginning. A really disappointing number of people have done that. Anyway, here's my questions. My basketball question is, would Ben Simmons get criticized as much for not taking threes if he and his agent didn't insist so heavily that he's a point guard, or would he get the same amount of criticism at any position? Well, I mean,
I think the same. I think maybe
a little less,
maybe a little bit less. But he has the ball in his hands a lot. Think about Draymond. They need Draymond to shoot a little, and his 3-point shooting has definitely gone down from those couple. There was one really good year he shot 39%. But even him shooting past actually a couple years past 4 years have been between 28 and 30.8%, which is pretty rough. But he's still taking 3 per game. Yeah. And so if Ben was doing that, it'd be a lot less. You don't hear too much about Draymond's shot. So if Ben was doing that, I think it'd be a lot less. But I think the point guard doesn't have that much to do with it, really.
Now, I'm actually noticing looking at you. So the pod now is on YouTube. There's a video version of the pod. We started that 7-8 episodes ago. You really haven't had a haircut since the beginning of quarantine. I can see.
No, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. I was maybe I just put some gel in my hair and do something so I'm not wearing a hat all the time. And it is ungelable at this point. It's gotten to a point where, I mean, look at the size.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I noticed. 'Cause you're wearing a
ridiculous.
hat, and
It's really rough. It's embarrassing on so many levels, and for you to be forcing me to do this
You
for
shouldn't be
the eight people that watch it
no,
on
we have
YouTube.
500 subscribers now. It's great.
Inexplicable. What am I
Yeah.
doing? How is my
You should-
face entertaining you?
You gotta get a pair of like good $50 or $60 wall clippers.
I don't know. I might just ride it out. My head's hot.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I might just ride it out. I'm trying to get a little like baseball pitcher
Yeah.
salad going
Yeah.
back here. I don't know how to do it. It's kind of coming down.
You do.
I'm Jewish, but I don't have like a real the curl doesn't happen for me, and it never has. So it's kind of just coming down straight.
You
and
look
thick.
like you got a little bit of a lincecum thing going on right now. I feel like.
Yeah, people have made that connection
Oh, really?
with me before. I would love if I had a little. Yeah, you can see a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. It's not great, and it definitely could be cleaned up a lot. But we're not seeing anybody aside from these 500 people that subscribe on
Yep.
YouTube. So I might just want to like, when else will I have this opportunity
Never.
to see what ridiculous things my head can do?
I didn't
So-
cut my hair for a year once. I grew my hair long, but I do have curly hair. It doesn't look that
Yeah,
way now.
that'd be nice. I don't have any of that.
So anyway, his non-basketball question: if you were not allowed to work in the industry you do now, what would you be doing now? Once again, thanks, Mike. Backup plan.
Does sports probably doesn't count, right? Because it'd be sports.
I don't think so.
me.
I think you get paid for this, so you are working in it.
I'd probably say politics.
Really? Ooh, that seems horrible.
Yeah, I mean, in some sense, maybe like for something I believe in, less like a
Yeah, yeah,
candidate, maybe like
Well,
a
you
cause
and
or something.
the
but,
you and Gons ticket.
I would, yeah, I'd be Gonz's running mate for comptroller of some random middle of nowhere city.
Comptrollers have running mates. Vice
Yeah, they do. I need a partner anywhere. I can't just
Yeah.
be by myself. That's why I have
Well, now it's a different thing. Now I would find a way to work at a. I'm jealous of my wife who now works at a shelter. So that's what I would do. I would have never chosen that earlier in my life, but finding a way to use whatever I'm good at, which is I guess coming up with dumb T-shirts and telling somebody else to design them. Maybe I could do that. I don't really have any other skills. I guess I've found that I'm pretty good at managing like talent at work. That's what I'm good at. So I don't really know what else I'm good at. So dogs. I like dogs. So and I've been lucky in my career to do and I'm not picking music because I already worked in music for 15 years. I've been lucky my whole career to work in things that I like and I enjoy, and which is a real treat. If you can somehow get that to happen, you should do it. This one comes from Still Ballin'. Hey guys, I found myself in a position where I had information pertaining to the Sixers that only myself and the Ricky community would care about, so I needed to share it. I know firsthand that Joel Embiid and Josh Richardson are scouring the city of Philadelphia to try and find a private place to work out and play soccer together. They've inquired with Temple, Drexel, and Penn, but none of those places could accommodate them due to campuses only allowing essential personnel still.
Wow, imagine fucking Drexel, City 6 Drexel, telling Joel Embiid, no, you're not essential enough.
Well-
Wow. Would have been a nice little bit of publicity, Drexel.
Still Ballin',
Maybe call Bodner next time, ask him to make an exception. Ridiculous.
Still Ballin' says, if you ask me, Joel Embiid and Josh Richardson being able to get into playing shape with Orlando coming up is pretty fucking essential, but what do I know? They were looking
right.
to bring a group of about 8 to 10 people to work out. The group would include Joel and J. Rich, coaches and security, according to my sources. I will say this, that I could not confirm the Richardson part of it, but I could confirm the other part of it. So
I feel like I've seen on Josh's Instagram, like pictures of him.
Oh
playing
no,
soccer
he's a soccer
or-
guy. He was at.
Right.
I saw him at Union.
No, I mean like.
Oh
now.
really? I don't know.
Yeah.
So a few questions with this information.
Have you seen Josh's hair? Sorry, have you seen Josh's hair?
I think I have. What does it look like?
It's like gold.
Yes, I have seen it.
I guess
Yes.
blonde. People would say
Yep.
blonde for
Yep.
hair. I went with gold.
Gold. I think what's his name made his hair gold, or maybe it was in process. Jalen Mills. I think it was in the process of making it green. He was bleaching it first or something. A few questions arise from this information. How do we feel about these two being buddy-buddy, and how disappointed are we that it isn't Joel and Ben looking to play soccer together? That was never going to happen. I don't think there's anything wrong with being buddy-buddy with Jay Rich for Embiid. He's a good one to be buddy-buddy with.
Solid guy, seems pretty easygoing.
How upset will Joel feel if and when Jay Rich is shipped out of Philly?
I think his heart's been broken so many times. It's, you know, he might not even know Josh's name. He's just like, this is friend. And soon I will have new friend
guard guy
that they will eventually hurt me with.
And then most importantly, if the Sixers held a 2-on-2 soccer tourney, what would be the best pairing? I'm inclined to say Joel and Furkan, but that feels like cheating. Signed, Valone's Rewards Club member since 2016. I have to imagine Neto can play soccer,
for sure.
Right? How will Neto?
I like the idea of Shake because of his change of pace. Also helpful in soccer. Matisse's length, less helpful, so probably not him. I bet Ben is really good. I mean, he might not have ever played and would still be really good, you know? I know he played rugby, which, again, apologies to our Australian listeners. They seemed very upset that we didn't know what AFL was or
can
whatever
we
the fuck.
say, I'll just make the apology out of so AFL.
I need them to know I don't care.
I do.
But I'm sorry that you're upset.
I do care that they care because Australian rules football used to be on ESPN when I was super young, and for the untrained eye, it would seem similar to rugby because they both use like an oblong ball and they're running around tackling each other, and it's not football. But AFL is Australian rules football and is not rugby, and I apologize to our Australian listeners, and I'll also say it is pronounced Melbourne and not Melbourne. So, all right, there we go. I bet Ben. Do you think Ben would shoot at the net?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Because shooting and passing are the same.
Right. Same
thing.
thing. The rights Ricky.
I have a question. So the Sixers have, when they converted Norvell Pell from a two-way, they then opened up another two-way spot. So I think that they have an additional
don't they have 17 spots?
Two-way spot available.
I think they have 17 spots in Orlando anyway, don't they?
So we have 16 right now.
Oh, 16 play. Oh, so one more. So
we've Shayak and one other guy.
Who just signed with Oklahoma City? Dorp or something?
Well, Lugens Dort was their two-way guy that they now bumped up. He's awesome, and the Sixers could have had him, and they decided they'd rather get Josh Harris in their yacht.
Okay.
But I think Jared Harper is available, who I like a lot. He's a point guard, played at Auburn.
They missed out on Tyler Johnson.
Suns just waived him. Yeah, I'm not interested in Tyler Johnson.
Winning basketball player. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by...
Sign somebody. Give me another two-way guy. I will.
Well, they got to have all.
No, I won't.
If they don't use all 17 spots, that is the fucking cheapest thing they've ever done, and they've done a lot of cheap shit.
They have. Do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic when they weren't going to pay people?
Right. Yes. Instead, buy the Mets for $2 billion.
Sorry. If you're making $50,000 living in Philadelphia, we're going to have to take a little bit of cut so we can take all of your money, pull it together, and buy the fucking Mets.
So we can create our cable network for Devils, Sixers, Mets, and Steelers fans.
It's perfect. It's perfect. We're making just a collection of rivalries. Is this what our fans love?
It is. You got to admit.
Loyalty. It's for them.
You got to admit, it really does. It's perfect in an I don't understand sports way. Oh, they're all in the same part of the country. Yeah. They would love to watch shows about each other's teams.
I found out that, and then this is Lou Pearlman managed both the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
You didn't know that?
Which is no, I didn't. We watched the Lou Pearlman documentary yesterday, and which is insane. And so I think Josh Harris is going for a Lou Pearlman
pick. Yeah, I knew all that. I lived the Backstreet Boys NSYNC stuff as it happened. So It's really amazing, Lou Pearlman.
Mhm.
It's really he was a creep though, wasn't he? Didn't he rip them off or something or no? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the whole documentary is about. It's
Yeah.
all on YouTube.
Rice Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. Look, if you're in a boy band and you're fucking managed by some fucking asshole scumbag and you need to sue that guy, Kornblau's your guy. Now,
They are.
if you slip on his sidewalk that he didn't put salt on and there was ice all over it and that's his fucking fault, that is what Kornblau is going to be excellent at, because he and his mom run the premier boutique personal injury law firm in the Delaware Valley. Kornblau is obsessed with personal injury. He's just fucking... He reads books about personal injury, not even cases, just personal injury, just people getting injured. And that was his first passion. And then he realized he could make money from this passion. He realizes that a lot of times when you get hurt, whether it's you're injured at work, in a car accident, you're hit by a drunk driver, you're slip and fall somewhere, that somebody else could have prevented that.
Slip and fall, trying to find Malcolm Brogdon and infect him with the deadly virus.
One of those things.
This is work. That would be a write-off for me.
A write-off. What are you
would write
writing
that up.
off? The lawsuit? Oh.
Travel. What I'm wearing if I buy new clothes to sneak up on him.
Kornblau is he really does do a great job. Personal injury. There's just a lot of nonsense out there, and most of the ones you hear
So much nonsense.
And most of the ones that you hear, you call up, and it's just a referral service. You're not even getting the people that you're calling. With Kornblau, you are. He's one of us. He comes to the live events. He buys corn dogs for everybody.
Brings his kid.
What's that? Brings his kid
to the live
brings his
event.
wife. Just a fantastic guy. A small guy, but big heart. So if you think you might have a case, if you're injured at all, and he's helped a lot of our listeners. I mentioned at the top, just sort of silly, that if Lou Pearlman was managing you, you need to sue him. That's obviously not what Kornblau specializes in, but he can help you out with everything, any aspect of any sort of legal injury you have. But personal injury and medical malpractice, what they specialize in. If you think you might have a case, give him a call or shoot him an email. It doesn't cost you anything. 215-576-7200. Ask for Adam. Or email kornblau@kornblauandkornblau.com. Kornblau and Kornblau, the official law firm of the process. Back to the mailbag. This comes from Brian. Oh, this is Brian Pollock, Harvey's, is it grandson? I think grandson, right. Or nephew? Grandson, I think it's grandson. Brian Pollock. 76ers question. In the history of things that are fake, which ranks higher on the list of all that is fake? The first round pick we got from Nerlens or the interview that Colangelo had with the Bulls for their GM job?
Ooh. I thought he was going to say the 75 candidates. I think... So here's the thing, and I'm just realizing this now. We traded Nerlens to Oklahoma City, right? And he has been there since?
No.
Or am I making... I might be mixing it
he
up.
was on another team, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's a shame that I don't know this because...
It's been so long.
It's been so long since basketball happened. I don't
just,
even remember what it looks like.
Not even since basketball happened, but just since we did all this stuff, you know? Mavericks. They traded him to the
I think
Mavericks.
the
because
big-
remember, he had the hot dog
right.
eating incident. Yeah.
With Carlisle.
Yeah.
That's right, of course. But roundabout now he's on Oklahoma City, and I think that fake first round pick, we were supposed, this first round pick that we got from Oklahoma City, the top 20 perspective was protected, was supposed to be a fake first round pick, and because it wasn't, and I still believe that we will maintain that will still apply to us, and we will get that in this draft around 21 or 22. And so I think this is like retroactively making it okay. And so I will answer that question unless we get screwed and that pick does not convey. I will answer that question, the Colangelo interview with the Bulls.
I would agree with you. I wouldn't have gone that way about it. I just think
there's got to be a karmic balance
right.
To find equilibrium with getting screwed over on these fake picks that, people buy into with a fake press
And
release.
Brian says, non-basketball, not a question, just that the Father's Day pod was awesome. Jigsaw. He gives us a jigsaw.
Play.
I will play this game.
Game we play.
I will play this game.
I miss you.
I will play this game.
I'm worried. Play.
I will play this game.
And after the game, they were interviewing him, and they said, how does it feel to win the ultimate game? And he said, if it's the ultimate game, why are they playing it again next year?
For the rest of your life, instead of walking or running, well, actually, there's a jigsaw. Okay, there. So, well, you could put the money in, or the music in. For the rest of your life, instead of
Now I'm in the mode.
yeah, because we can't hear it. You can hear it at home, but we can't hear it. The only way for you to move forwards or backwards, instead of walking or running, is to broad jump everywhere you go. Or every time you pee for the rest of your life, it will burn like scorching fire coming out of you. You will scream and cry, and you will never get used to it.
Definitely broad jump. I don't mind jumping, and also one time I had some NBA game for the computer in the mid '90s, and it was like '97 or something, like NBA Jam or NBA Live or something, and something was wrong with either my computer or I was like just 9 years old and didn't know how to figure it out, but I could not move. I couldn't dribble with the ball and move. I can dribble and stay in one place, but I couldn't move forward or anything. So the only way to move in that game was to pass or shoot. And so that is, I think, similar to that. So I'm well trained in doing that. So
I've had it burn when I pee to that degree, and there's just no way I could go through that every day.
Yeah, it sounds bad. I've had very few burning peas. You would think for how many times I bang my penis it burns, but it doesn't.
This comes from Phil. Spike and Mike, love the pod, and also I love you. See, Mike, that's how you follow the rules. Tell Spike you love him, you coward.
I like to withhold.
I know who's writing the other process book, referenced a few pods back. I emailed and DM'd the Ricky email on Twitter, and no one will acknowledge it, whatever. I'll tell Phil he's right. There's your acknowledgement. Basketball question. Create a starting five of process Sixers from May 2013, when Hinkie is hired, until the end of the draft 2015. You're not allowed to choose Thad, Hawes, MCW, Nerlens, or Covington. Now, is he saying that we could pick Drew Holiday?
What an odd collection of what you wouldn't choose. It seems like you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Though. And do you count Embiid because he's on the team but he's hurt?
Well,
probably not.
It says the end of the draft 2015. This makes it easy.
I still won't count it.
And you're counting no Drew too.
No Drew, yeah.
I would take.
He wasn't there because he didn't play for the 2013-14 Sixers. So
I would take.
I guess I would.
Ish Smith at point.
Okay. Are you doing your five? You do your five. I'm still assembling.
All
right, I'll go. I will be starting Tony Roden at point guard. You can't change.
I'm gonna put him at two guard. So there we go.
Wow. Ish and Roden as the backcourt guard. There you go. There's your backcourt.
I want the first pick. I would take Jeremy Grant.
So I don't get someone that you.
No,
pick.
you can take him if you want Jeremy Grant. Yeah.
Oh, I can. Okay. I'll go Hollis at the 3, obviously, and Jeremy at the 4.
And then the 5. What are you doing?
I still have a 2 and a 5. You can go. I'm still.
I would take.
You're gonna start
what's his name on the 5, who's on the Hawks now, who's making $10 million a year or something. Yeah.
Edmund. I will take. I'll take Rashawn as my 5. And so, who's your lineup?
So I have. So I'm missing. I would actually probably have to take Hollis. I've got Roten, Ish Smith, Jeremy Grant, Dwayne Dedman, and I want to say, God, we must have another 3 that I could take that could shoot. Fuck it. I'll just take KJ McDaniels. Yeah.
There you go. I will go Roten, Alexei
Oh,
Shved,
good. I love it.
Hollis, Jeremy, Rashawn. And I will win a
And
championship.
then non-basketball question, even though this is a basketball question. Create a starting five out of current and former sponsors of the pod. Need positions and one-sentence description of their games.
No former.
Yeah.
Only
We've
current.
only had 2 leave and 1 left on good terms, and the other one screwed us. So, and Paul Green left on good terms. So, love you, Paul. So we have Greg at Colony. We have Eric at Big Barker. We have LL Kornblau.
I feel like Eric is our center.
Yeah.
I feel like Kornblau is our point guard.
Yep.
I feel like LL is our Rick Mahorn 4.
Yep. We have Ben.
I feel like Ben can shoot.
Yep.
Is our 2.
Greg is the 3, I guess.
And Greg is the 3. Yeah.
And am I forgetting? I'm sure forgetting somebody. Oh, so we have Kasabi.
We have Kasabi's tall.
Yeah, slender.
He seems tall. Have I met him?
He just.
I think I might.
I don't think so.
I've seen. Maybe I just saw him in the in the Zoom.
Yep.
Zoom call.
Yep. And then we have. I don't know if Ethan at DraftKings counts. DraftKings has just got a $1 billion valuation on the stock market. Yes.
That sounds right. Also, the touchdown.
Oh yes, Frank.
Who I definitely have not met, and so I don't know. I can't assess.
I've
their body.
never seen Frank, so I've not met either. They signed on.
Frank sounds like the name of a power forward.
He does, and he sells fireplaces. Like, come on. And then we have a new one. We have a new one coming on next week. It looks like too. So, and I haven't seen him either. So, he says keep the pods coming. Need to have Tony and Tommy back on ASAP. I agree. Would love to have them back. Tommy's been too busy with his WIP appearances to come back on.
Yeah, he really used us as a stepping stone.
This one, I love this one. So this comes from, actually, before we get to this, final sponsor, Colony Meadery. Colony Meadery, gluten-free alcohol, mead, 2 kinds, the session meads, which are carbonated in cans, fucking awesome, or the regular meads, which come in the bottle, higher alcohol, more of like a wine. The session meads are sort of between a cider and a beer and a wine cooler. They're fucking great, all different flavors, all that, and no gluten whatsoever. At the tap room now in Allentown, they have outdoor seating. They have a slushy machine, Mike. I saw it on Facebook. So
ooh, a slushy, like it's a mead slushy?
Mead slushy. Yes,
that's cool.
Mead slushy. Also, you can go to colonymeadery.com. Use code Ricky for $5 off. They'll deliver it. Deliver it right here in PA. You can get delivered in PA.
That sounds a lot like there's like one Rita's in LA. There used to be more, but I think they closed. There's one Rita's we went to the other day and picked up. And so that sounds like sort of a boozy Rita's. If we get like a slushy mead, sounds.
They were advertising that pretty hard for 1 year, that you could make your Rita's boozy, and then they sort of laid off of it. Mm-hmm. They have there's a ton of flavors. Colony Meadery is great. They've been a wonderful sponsor for us. I'm really excited that they've made it like to this part of the COVID thing. Like all of our local sponsors, like, you know, we had our fingers crossed for everybody, and Colony looks like they're going to come out on the other side of it. Support them, local, and look, you want something new to drink, right? And maybe you have someone in your life who doesn't like gluten. Like, who needs more gluten, really?
No. Makes me feel like sort of foggy.
Go to colonymeadery.com or go to any Wegmans in Eastern PA. Go to Standard Tap. Go to Urban Village Brewing Company. Go to, if they're open, DeBruno Brothers. No, actually, we got a report that DeBruno Brothers didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. So no DeBruno Brothers. At the very least, go to colonymeadery.com. Use code Ricky for $5 off. Must be 21 to drink. Please get buzzed responsibly. Okay, this comes from Misha. Hey guys, love the pod as always. I've been very impressed by the creative guests. Anyways, on to a proposed hypothesis and a question. Non-basketball question / hypothesis. I legitimately do not think the Astros cheated.
Oh my God.
And it is just another sign of baseball's decrepit age. Using video to, quote, steal signs on the field of play is perfectly fine in every other sport except for baseball. Yet the Astros get vilified. NFL quarterbacks literally have coaches telling them what they're looking for while the quarterback is about to snap the ball, and it is on the defense to disguise looks and coverages. Similarly,
No.
just let me read the email here. Similarly, it should be on the pitchers, catchers, and coaching staffs to be able to hide what pitch is coming. This is not.
If you could hack into the headset and listen to their play, then you would know. And that's the crime
This is
here.
not even like the Patriots scandals, which used video to spy for information off the field of play. If anything, for their hacking scandal, the Cardinals should have been run through this shame parade that the Astros are going through now. Ironically enough, the Astros were the victims in the Cardinals hacking scandal. I will concede that the use of buzzers is wrong because it's illegal equipment. But the whole concept of using video and banging trash cans is fine by me. Also, their toxic finance bros front office can get the hell out of here for all I care. I guess I'm arguing more about the ethics of using video as opposed to whether they actually cheated. However, this is then the exact same argument as the PED scandal, as the fans are pro-cheater in that case. By the book, sure, the Astros cheated, but so did Bonds. So,
It's looking to step back from the specifics. Steroids, which don't bother me at all, is players deciding to do something to make them better. It's bad for your health if you stay up all night and only lift weights and never give yourself a break and be sleep deprived. You can do that. That's bad for your health. But it's your choice. Whereas this cheating scandal is part of baseball is being able to not know what pitches are coming. And if you have a camera zoomed in onto the catcher's crotch from center field and then telling someone in the dugout, hey, hit this trash can so they know that it's an off-speed pitch, that's beyond the pale.
But wouldn't you say, here's what his point is, and I agree with this point, that the process of giving the pitcher the sign by the catcher putting the fingers between the legs is so outdated that pitchers and catchers should have come up with a more appropriate way of disguising what pitch is coming in.
So on like a button in his butthole or something, and he touches the one button.
Can I be honest with you? Shouldn't he just be able to? And to the point here, shouldn't the catcher just be able to put something in his mask that he can talk to the pitcher or make a noise with his mouth and I don't know. I'm actually against changing baseball because I don't think anything that they change is going to make people who don't like baseball like baseball.
For sure. Aside from just letting clips online be shared and actually promoting the players
that's I think the problem. You should be making your sport bigger to the people who do care. You should be building baseball fields in black neighborhoods because there's no black players in baseball anymore. You should be finding. How about this? There's such a huge Spanish speaking contingent in baseball. How about you reach out? You have direct outreach to Spanish speaking communities in the United States to get them to come to baseball games. Grow your audience. But putting a man on second in the 10th inning to start the 10th inning is not going to make anybody like baseball.
That I don't mind. They've been doing it in the minor leagues for a little bit, and I don't mind it because, especially in this everything's going so fast, and you're going to be playing game after game after game if this thing actually happens. It's just we don't want anything going into the 18th inning because it puts people's health at risk for just
it's
taking
better
too
than
long
ties. I'll tell you that. I don't want ties.
I don't mind a tie. You have one inning in the 10th. You have 10th inning. I don't mind doing 10th inning, man on second.
Let me tell you,
Go.
As somebody, I don't ever watch. I'm not one of those people that is on Twitter on Saturday mornings going "Oh, Arsenal did it again." But I have been to enough Union matches to see a tie, and that fucking blows.
Yeah, but doesn't a loss also blow?
But at least you can be upset. A tie, you're upset at the fact that you just spent 3 hours doing it.
Sure. All right. Yeah, I don't love ties. I'm not raving about ties. But
and the basketball question: How many games? Oh, this is who knows. How many games do you think next season will end up being? It will probably be shorter, and this helps the Sixers, right? I don't like.
Helps the Sixers.
Yeah.
Who knows,
It-
man?
they're-
Yeah, I would guess it's a little shorter in the 60s, probably.
I think they're going to try to. Boy, after what happened financially this year, I think they'll try to play all the games. But I have no idea.
I don't know, man. If I mean, is next season going to be like regular? They're just going to like
I don't
fly
know.
around. It's
Well,
just getting worse
just,
everywhere.
I just paid my
It's
I
just
just paid
crazy.
my $6,000 for season tickets. Well,
You
the
did?
guy. I didn't want to do it. My uncle.
Do you get
Well,
it back?
This is funny. So we had the option to opt out, and I told my uncle before they even gave us that option, like toward the end of the season when I was mad, I was like, "Fuck these guys! Can we please just get rid of these tickets?" And he's smart. He's more patient than I am. He's like, one more year, and my season ticket guy emailed me. He was like, I guess I had an expired card on file, and they're like, "Hey, we went to make the payment. It got declined. You don't want to lose your seats." And I sent him the credit card info, and I'm like, "Here's the $6,000 that you're just going to give back to me in December."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope I get the money back. I
It's-
regret paying for them.
It's really wild. We don't have to get into
Nah.
it because it's just
We
sad,
don't
but
know what I'm
like
talking about.
it's getting worse. It's people gonna keep getting it. It's a pandemic. We don't know the risks of the virus. Actually, we don't know what long-term effects. It seems insane. I understand people trying to start stuff, but like, holy hell, man! It's a pandemic for a reason.
Yeah, I guess we've always been on different sides of this. It does seem insane to me that like every business would be open and we're like, but athletes, you cannot make a living. Like everybody, you can go to work, you can go to work, you can go to work, you can go to work. But the athletes, who by the way can have the ability to be tested every day and be put in and stay at Disney World without anybody else allowed to come in, you are not allowed to work. So I think because what they do, we see as recreation. We have like this different view of what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, regular people should have been able to just like open everything back up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's. I'm not saying like let's just.
No.
exclude
I
athletes and
understand.
stuff.
I understand. But it's like obviously it's a whole complicated thing. So I think this would be a better question for you, as I have not watched reality TV in depth for a while, and our dads are not going to get married to each other after being engaged for 90 days. But after listening, our dads. After listening to this from JP, after listening to the most recent Dadcast, I couldn't help but wondering if your dads were on a reality TV show, what shows would they excel in? Personally, I think Dad Levin would be a great get-along guy in the Big Brother environment, while 3-time Olympian speedwalker Dad Eskin might thrive in a game of ruthless competition, i.e. Cutthroat Kitchen.
I don't watch either of those shows, but your dad in like a high-stakes chef environment sounds about right.
He used to make scrambled eggs in the microwave, which fucking stinks, man. It's terrible. Yeah,
That's rough. My dad's a great cook. I
could see your dad in Big Brother.
What would my dad?
Or
I don't watch it. He'd be great. I would never. I talk about this all the time, but like I would be a horrible contestant on The Bachelor.
Mhm.
Horrible. I'd be a great Bachelor. Come on. I'd be great. I'd have a great time. I'd be thoughtful. But I would love to see my parents on Hometowns. They'd really make a fool out of me. And they'd both excel. It's their perfect environment.
P.S. Hey, Mike, I'm an aspiring writer currently PAing in L.A. I'm writing some half-hour TV pilots, but seemingly not gaining any traction. Do you have any advice for somebody who's trying to break into a writer's room? Thanks for making great content, guys.
I get this question about once every couple weeks. Email me, and then we'll talk about it. It's hard. It's tough if you're casually trying to enter the business. It is a tough business. I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's stupid. It's a dumb business, but it can be good if you get lucky. And so far we have. I will let you know when that luck stops. Any day now. If Hollis Thompson has anything to do with it, the other one,
Yeah,
the mean one.
the one from Apple Podcasts, right?
Yeah. What's a windshield wiper laugh? Every time I've laughed, I'm like, is this it? Am I
You know
doing
what,
it like
Kate?
this? I don't know what it
hold on.
means.
Is it windshield wiper or Windex cleaner laugh?
Windex,
There.
I think.
Okay,
Either
so
way,
I
I
just
don't know what it is.
Googled Windex cleaner laugh, and there is a YouTube of Windex laugh. I feel like I should share this on. Wait, hold on. I can do this. Hold on.
Is
I
it
don't
like
know.
a?
So this is hold on. This is for the YouTubers. Google. Okay, hold on. Application window. Hold on. It would have to be on Firefox. I'm gonna cancel it.
Either way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna think
Anyway,
about it for the rest of my life. So thank you. It's really me letting you know that you're in my head. Success.
Can you hear this?
No.
Oh man.
I mean, I know what Windex is.
That wasn't the question.
I've sprayed it before, but I don't think like, what's this laughter?
This wasn't
happening?
a question. I just really enjoyed this email from Robert. So it was a little unclear from the Father's Day pod. Does your dad have a Rolex? That is actually that is actually the first time I've ever heard your father speak. All I knew of your dad was just the discussion on the pod. He did not disappoint. He is absolutely as over the top as you guys suggest. Mike's dad gave him an appropriate amount of props for the success he has had and the career he has built.
Yeah. My dad is a much nicer man than I am, for sure. In the privacy of our own car, driving back from school Wednesdays from age 4 to 18, my dad had less nice things to say about Howard Eskin and his opinions.
Well, that was the whole bit. These next questions are too long. Here's one short one, and then we'll get to the long one next time. This comes from Tommy. I wanted to thank you guys. This is from a couple weeks ago. I want to thank you guys for your coverage of this week's protests. You came from a humble and honest place and said everything concisely, and it was super refreshing. My basketball question is, what one player / type of player you'd want the Sixers to have that would be a bench guy, assuming this year's starting five? Well, I'd want a fucking scorer guy.
I mean, who's this? I don't even. Is this your starting five? Does that include Shake?
Oh, let's say
Horford
it
off the
just
bench?
includes Shake and Horford. Let's say they're all off the table. Like, I guess, like what one kind of player would you add to the team? And it would just be a creator scorer guy, right? And it'd have
Yeah. I would love a quick guard. I would love like an Eric Bledsoe
Yes.
type.
He'd be great.
Like kind of just like a little bowling ball that can like also Kyle Lowry, like stand his position a little bit. Maybe I like guys that can defend, so I'm not going to say that matters less. But I would love a guy that could get to the rim, shoot enough, and just kind of be a dog and annoy other people. Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
style.
well, Eric Gordon can shoot better than enough. Like, you're not going to have a perfect guy, obviously. Man, I would love Marcus Smart on the Sixers. Holy shit, I would love Marcus Smart. And non-basketball, this is just the funniest, most random non-basketball question I think we've gotten so far. What are your guys' thoughts on the movie The Social Network? Every website and magazine said it was, at worst, a top 5 movie of the decade. And after rewatching it during quarantine, I feel like it's vastly overrated, but still a decent movie. Thanks, and keep it up. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I remember loving it, but there's a very good chance that was sort of like wool pulled over my eyes because of like the dialogue and the filming, like the cinematography. It's David Fincher movie, so it's impressive in that sense. I thought the acting was also good and just like fast.
Yeah. Well,
I like
Fincher's
fast.
awesome. Fincher is one of those guys that like makes a movie and you can just watch it and know that he made it. You know, one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know how watching it now, knowing that Zuckerberg's such a piece of shit.
Well, the good thing is he controls 75% of what the American public consumes as news. So that's the good
There you
thing.
go. What a treat.
And by the way, speaking of things that you watch, I know you said you watched it. We're almost done Devs, which I am enjoying. I'm enjoying Devs a lot. Yeah.
Love Devs. Did you finish Dave?
Dave.
The Little
Oh
Dicky
no,
show.
I only watched like 2 episodes. I can't like even when they're good, half-hour comedies are just like I don't like them. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't like them. Yeah.
There you go. I think I would if you're not going to watch more, I would at least watch. I think it's
Okay.
episode 5. It's the episode that revolves around Gata.
Okay.
It's really impressive. And I would watch
Okay.
episode 9, which is Taylor's episode. Taylor, who Alyssa, my girlfriend, co-hosts the podcast Table Flipping with, and it's excellent, and she's great in it, and it's really good. And I think our friend Tony Asenda, who's also
Yep.
who you met at Summer League, who directed and created American Vandal, is there.
And
is the
a
director
quick
there. So,
recommendation, because it'll never be a Carl Landry Record Club selection because it's too new, and I'm recommending it now. Phoebe Bridgers is awesome. It was an artist that that Amos turned me on to. Has a new album called Punisher, and it is so good in that I can't even describe what I think it sounds like to me. It's very pretty, but it is not like flowery at all. The songs are great, and it feels smart. It's just so good. Please listen to it. The album is Punisher, Phoebe Bridgers. It's just so good. It's one of the best things I've heard. I think there's been actually a lot of good music released during the quarantine era or whatever, but this is particularly good, so you should listen to it.
give me a two-way guy.
One
That's
two-way
all I
guy.
want. Just give me one more two-way guy to get excited about. If that's, even let's like Jaron Grant,
I would love Jaron Grant.
or if like Frank Mason is available. Come on, let me have one. Give me like a fun, fast guard that has like some pop. What we thought Demetrius
Right.
Jackson
What we
was.
thought a lot of people were.
What I am in my mind.
Well, we will talk to you Saturday this weekend. Be on Saturday and go to writesrickysanchez.com right now. Get the Brotherly Love script, $5. Remember, goes to those awesome charities, and you get to judge Mike how good he is, right from the page.
Yeah.
Right from the page.
And know that whatever you say will be hurtful.
Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, lick face.
If you don't fuck with me,
Then I won't fuck with you. If you don't fuck with me,
then I won't fuck with you.
If you don't fuck with me, then I won't fuck with you.
if you don't fuck with me,
Then I won't fuck with you.
But if you fuck with me,
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Time for plan B.